first and third on this one. Reyes cannot come up with it. See if we can get it like a base hit with runners in scoring position for a change here, Scotty.
Ball for 2. Opt out, struck out, faced wide ends once already. So that is you get in spring training so often you're facing players you've never seen before. And rarely do you get to see a pitcher a second time until late in spring training.
Especially if he's coming out of the pen.
Right. Hits for the Yankees. That's just the 3rd hit for the Phils today. Single hour. Hard to center. That's going to bring home the first run of the game for the Phils.
All right, everybody, we are live from the Stratosphere. Wow, I got some hat head going. Woo! All right. There you go.
It's 8-1.
How we doing today in the chat? How we doing? How we doing? How we sounding? Everybody can hear me? We got some background noise today. Grinding it out for you, one casino at a time. Who does this for you? I'm live at the William Hill Sportsbook, man. Sounding good, Big D. Big D, I'm going hard on Steph's load management in the Open. I'm going to war with a lot of Warrior fans today. It might get a little chippy. One casino at a time.
Defensively running ahead. First base. Thompson Lakes then we get 7 innings, maybe 4 at bats at this point in spring, but
yeah, you know, March Madness. So the Strat has this group on Facebook called March Madness Las Vegas, and they're really good. And they have like, I don't know how many people here, but 500. I'm going to talk about them today. What's going on, everybody? Big D, yes. Stephen Price, sounds good. Silver and black all day. Raider Nation. I own the stock. I normally don't support this, but I needed a coffee today, and they brought me one. So, Bobby, you're going to open up with the Steve Curry.
Would be 2, the second one. Volpe will throw first. Yankees were attempting their 3rd double play turn today. No chance to get him on there. It's 8-2.
He took this off the barrel, but he got enough to pull the second baseman to his left. Much too well.
Over to the 35. Racing to the 20.
Oh, yes. One casino at a time, as I told everybody. I am live from the Strat, formerly the Stratosphere. Golden Entertainment, our proud partner. You know, Golden Entertainment owns 70-plus PTs here in the Valley, and they're so big and so successful. They bought the Strat a number of years ago, and they re-imaged it. They put a world-class PTs in here, a flagship, and they invite me every year to kick off March Madness on Wednesday. So we are live here, brought to you by the Strat. I am thrilled to be here. If you'd like to watch the show, see us in the casino, YouTube, JT the Brick YT, and you can get in by subscribing for free and be a part of our bracket contest. as we're ready to roll today. Quickly, let me tell you why we're here. There's a group on Facebook called March Madness in Vegas. Everybody's on Facebook. My Facebook stock's been getting hammered, but it's just a paper. It's on paper. It's done very well for me. But I will tell you this Facebook group, March Madness in Vegas, put together this big Facebook page, and they started coming here, and now they take over the entire property. They got 500 people in this group. Their kickoff party is tonight. They invite me to help with the kickoff party. And again, the T-shirts, the prizes, the hats, the food, the buffet, the VIP parties they have is really cool. So if you're looking to watch March Madness, come on down to the Strat right here on the Vegas Casino Corridor, right next to Atomic Golf. Everybody knows the Stratosphere. But the key is here, they've changed it. And for years, people have said, I haven't been there in a while. They got one of the best restaurants called Top of the World, where I love to go from time to time. It's fabulous. They got a brand new William Hill Sportsbook right behind me here, which is gorgeous. You can eat off the floors. The staff is incredible. I was talking to a couple of the guys up front, the valet guys and the bell desk guys. I said, give me something good about the property. They said, we all love each other. We love being here. We love working here. So come on down to the Strat. Come see me today. We got prizes to give away. Look at this. We got Raider Nation T-shirts. Oh, my God, they're gorgeous. We got koozies. We got cups. We got show tickets, and that's what I'm doing today. Remember, no matter what you think of me, and I hope it's good, remember, I will grind a casino remote as good as anybody, and they treat me like gold here today, so we're ready to roll. What I'd like from you today is, if you can help me, is give me the winner of the NCAA tournament. Man, I hate to do low-hanging fruit, but I need it today because you've been quiet. And we're March Madness, man, and the Raiders are in the off season. Okay, it's never an off season, but it's kind of quiet today. It's about March Madness. I can do Raiders stuff with you, but I'm not doing the depth chart about the fourth and fifth string cornerback. I'm doing March Madness, and I need the winner. I need to hear some Duke haters out there if possible. Some people who hate Duke. And that is a rite of passage. I need to hear from some of the Fraternal Order of the Menakaki Pants who are at airports now streaming this show, lying to their girlfriends and wives saying they're going to watch March Madness with their buddies in Vegas. They are not. They are coming to Vegas to get after it. They're going to pool parties, they're going to strip clubs, they're going to nightclubs, but it's shrouded in the evidence that they are going to March Madness. And as I've given you the rules, if you're a man or a woman and your partner doesn't let you go to Vegas for March Madness, time out. As Dickie V would say, get a TO, baby. Walk away from that person. Because if you can't get a hall pass, that's what I call them, a hall pass, to come to March Madness in Vegas, she or he will never let you do anything the rest of your life. I mean, you'll be cleaning windows and gutters and screens. You'll be going to double Little League practices. You'll never see your friends again. March Madness is a moment where everyone is allowed to get a hall pass from the person they live with and spend the whole bleeping year with. You go to bed with at night, you have breakfast and coffee with. You need a break. I need a break. We all need a break. So you come out to Vegas for the madness of March. Are you with me on that? I can help you with this if you need it. Put her on the phone with me. I'll give her the rules about March Madness, where the Fraternal Order of the Menakaki Pants are taking over. Remember, they have 2 pairs of khakis, 1 dress shoe, pair of sneakers, board shorts, collared golf shirts, and maybe a crazy club shirt. Button-down club shirt that you don't tuck in. And they are coming with cash. They're going to blow all their cash. They're going to spend it in Vegas. They're going to limp back to the airport, and we're going to give them a round of applause and thank them. They don't do this in Sacramento, and I like Sacramento. They don't do this in Topeka. They don't do it in Ames, Iowa. They don't do it in New York City. Imagine L.A. and New York City. California doesn't have legal gambling. Can you imagine if California and Los Angeles and San Francisco had March Madness where you could legally bet? Downtown San Francisco at times looks like it was hit by a bomb. Could you imagine dropping a casino in downtown San Francisco with a sports book like this and telling everybody from the Bay Area, hey, meet me in the city. We're going to do March Madness and get a room at the Mark Hopkins. We're going to get a room somewhere. We're going to party for 2 days. No, they come to Vegas because Vegas does it better. So thanks again to the Strat. Who do you got winning this thing? I got Florida, the Gators, where I'm proud of my son who's getting his master's at Florida. Doing it online from Vegas, but I'm proud of him. So we got a little Gator love going. My son, who's a senior at ASU, they didn't make the tournament. Bobby Hurley? Wait a second. Whoa, hold on. Let me stop. Did ASU make the tournament? They didn't. You got to fire Bobby Hurley. Have to fire him and say, Bobby Hurley, you're one of the greatest players ever. You didn't make the tournament at ASU, the largest school in America, fact, not fiction. More students locally from out of town commuters go to ASU than Penn State, Michigan. It's a fact. They're not even in the tournament. And my other son, who graduated from Oklahoma, they're playing UConn in the opener, and that could get interesting because UConn's won 2 in a row. And I got Florida beating UConn, and Florida's got to play UConn in the second round. And Danny Hurley knows how to put together a game plan, so that could be real interesting as we open up the show. Okay, I got a problem. I gotta get this problem out of the way. People are coming after me again on Twitter. Oh, I know you're not shocked. Go look at it at JT the Brick. Here's what happened. I'm not apologizing, but I gotta fill you in. I knew that Steph Curry was going to be load managed yesterday in San Francisco because Steve Kerr told us in advance that Steph Curry needed a mental day off. Oh boy. Excuse me? A mental day off? I'm in a casino where women in their 60s are cleaning rooms for a little bit above a certain price. I don't know what they get paid. And then they're leaving their shift and they're going to another casino to work the day shift after working overnights. In fact, I am in a city where cops are working 12-hour shifts and putting their lives on the line. I deal with truckers for a living. A trucker called me last night and thanked me for my take on Steph Curry getting the night off because the trucker could barely stay awake as he's delivering America's economy all over state lines and needs a cup of coffee, and I was able to keep him up. Fact, not fiction. And Steph Curry, who makes anywhere from $52 to $55 million a year, needed a mental day off? Excuse me? Steph Curry is one of my favorite players ever, so don't come hating on me. Steph Curry's one of my favorite players ever. So don't make me out to be a hater. I'm just calling it as I see it. I despise load management. Steph Curry had the perfect load management day. Number one, his coach told everyone 24 hours in advance that Steph needs a mental day off. Steph's been battling through this or that. Steph was fine. You're going to hear the soundbite that's shocking the world coming up momentarily. Number two, the Warriors won the game. That matters. The Warriors won as they rested Steph. Number three, they did it at home, which if you're going to load manage a player, which I despise, do it at home, not on the road in New Orleans or Phoenix or Detroit, because the fan in that market only gets to see Steph maybe once or twice a year, so you don't want to do it there. And then the most important thing about Steph is everybody likes him, so the media are frauds, and the media forgot about the fact that he was load managed last night. So I want you to listen right here to Steve Kerr, who is admitting that he didn't play Steph Curry, who was fine, because he wanted to give him a mental break. Here it is.
Was this decision an easy one? Just to get him some rest.
The last 3 games, I think he's been tired, but it's more of a mental and emotional and physically he's fine. Physically his back was fine last night. He put up a fight last night when I told him to give me a night off, but he understood. You guys know Steph. When he's emotionally tired, it affects his decision making. So he's been turning it over the last couple games. He's a little out of sorts. So he got lots of experience with this Steph. Just needs a night off once in a while, and he's for sure earned it. He's just carried us on a road trip. It's been amazing.
10 seconds.
Last couple of games, and I think the 15 has shown it. So give him a night and then right back out there Thursday.
Wow. Did you hear? He gave us a treasure trove. He said he's fine. See, all Steve Kerr had to say was his back was tweaked, and I wouldn't have a topic today. I wouldn't have a topic. All he had to say was, Steph's been banged up a little bit. His back was sore today in warm-up, so we decided not to play him. It's over. He said he's fine. He said he needed a mental break. He's exhausted. He'll be back playing the next game. If you count last night and the off night tonight, and the fact that I think they're off Saturday and Sunday before Monday, he's going to have 5 days off in 7 days. Okay, do you have 5 days off in 7 days? I don't. He does. Now, I don't compare what I do to Steph, and nor should you. But I only get involved in these topics from a media perspective. I don't throw out the media card. You don't hear me saying, I'm a journalist, I'm a member of the media, here's my laminate. I'm a fan for you. I go to games so I can report for you what it's like being a fan. I tailgate, I'm in the crowd, I'll buy you Modelo. I just think I'm a fan. I happen to be hardcore, but I'm a fan. So I call out the fact that Steph Curry, who makes $600,000 a night, was able to have a night off, and the coach said he needed a mental break. Oh, now you got me. I'm all for mental health. There are people that need mental health help all the time. How dare you say Steph Curry's one of those guys? How dare you? You tell people that have mental health issues, real ones, that Steph Curry needs a mental break. He stays at the Four Seasons. Okay? He stays at the Four Seasons every night. He flies on a private jet. He has a chef. He makes $55 million a year. He golfs the whole off season. He eats in 5-star restaurants where the bill's picked up. His dry cleaning is free. His clothes are pressed. His uniform's in his locker. He gets timeouts, halftime. Okay, he gets all the breaks in the world. Timeouts if he's tired. And all you got to do is let Steph play 18 minutes instead of 36. So that got my chat going. So then I put it out there and people are fighting with me. Homer Warrior fans, JT the Brick's a blank. JT the Brick, how dare you? How dare I do what? Report the news? The guy got a day off for no reason because he's carried the team through for championships. So did Kobe. Kobe Bryant, may he rest in peace, never had a load management day. He played through his Achilles starting to tear. Now, Steph is a warrior. He's a great player. But I got to call it the way I see it. I hope you listen to my show because I'm not in fear to talk about what I think. Now, I won't say on my show when I interview the coach, you should be fired because I don't think that's professional. But I think I go pretty hard on this. So the topic for this part, because we're doing some March Madness today, is how do you handle load management in the real world? The nurse, the sanitation worker, the person who works on the freeway when it's 22 degrees out, putting down cones, putting his life on the line as people are driving by at 65 miles an hour. You think they might need a mental night off? Yeah, they do. They don't ask for it. They don't expect it. So this NBA is completely out of control, man. The NBA's whacked because we can't even call out what is Captain Obvious. Steph Curry took a night off. Now, if Steph had a press conference and said, last night I made $600,000, because he makes $600,000 a game, not $60,000 a game, $600,000 a game. If he said, I'm going to donate half of it to charity, to the Children's Hospital, I'm good. And he does a lot for charity, by the way. He does a lot. He and his wife are fantastic. But for him to sit there in street clothes and just kick back and sit there smiling as Giannis is playing, and Damian Lillard's in the Bay Area and he's taking the night off, and Dame Lillard's playing in that building once a year, and Steph's taking the night off and his coach says he's fine, you listen to me in the third person, JT the Brick. I'll call that out all day long. And I won't go in fear to trolls on Twitter who are saying that I'm out of control. I'd like to know how you feel on this topic, and we can debate it at 702-365-9200. Steph is a great guy. It has nothing to do with the topic. The topic is load management and how the NBA is losing fans because of this topic. Load management is running rampant throughout the league. Whenever you turn on a game, last night's a good example. Man, I looked on the TV guide. I was doing my show on Sirius. Oh, my God, it's the Warriors versus the Bucks. Arguably the greatest player in the world is Giannis. He's won multiple MVPs. He's going to play Steph. You turn on the TV, you get some popcorn ready, you have dinner. Steph's not playing. Turn the game off. Turn the game off because the star isn't playing there. And it happens around the league every night. From Denver, where I was hard on Jokic and Murray the night before, they load managed. They took the night off to get ready for the Lakers who don't have LeBron. Oh, also, LeBron could play tonight. He's healthy enough to play. He just won't play because he's trying to ramp up for the postseason. I call that as I see it, too. Again, I wasn't around to watch Bill Russell play, but I read books and I watched documentaries. He didn't load manage. And Michael Jordan, in the last season of his career, played 82 games for the Wizards. He could have had 30 nights off. 30 nights off the Wizards would have given him because he sold tickets. He played in every game. Now, someone did tell me that, Michael Jordan quit to go play baseball. That was a good comeback. He did. That's kind of load managing. Michael left to go hit foul balls. He didn't get base hits in Birmingham, and that's fair to say. But again, for me, I hope you can see through this. This isn't a bid. This isn't something. I'm just telling you that, I'm watching Steph get the night off, and I'm saying, let's just call it as we see it. And don't tell me he carries the franchise. That's why he's getting $60 million. If he wasn't carrying the franchise and he was like another player on the team, he'd be making $20 million a year. He's making $60 million, $55 million a year because he's the best shooter of all time. Now, if you think he needs a night off, okay, then I'm going to have to go into my arsenal and compare him to the 62-year-old woman working in this casino today that didn't get the day off, and she's mentally tired, and she's got 2 jobs. And I'll win that argument every time. But I don't want to have to go there because that woman who works here, changing sheets and working her body to the bone, can't shoot like Steph Curry. So it's hard to make that comparison. So that's one of the things I feel comfortable talking about today. It's a good topic. Another thing I want to get to in the monologue, baseball opened up. The Dodgers are 2-0, playing in Japan. Anybody watch it? Any Dodger fans get up at 3 in the morning Pacific time and watch the game? Oh, my God, what a money grab by baseball. You take the best team in baseball, you put them in Tokyo, in Japan, with 3 Japanese players. You sell out everything you can there. You make the Dodgers more revenue and more name, image, and likeness. And then they win 2 games that no one watches against an inferior team, and you send them home and you said the season started. If that ain't the definition of a money grab, I don't know what is. And lastly, my favorite topic, we'll have a guest tomorrow, UNLV hockey. UNLV hockey won a national championship last night. Everybody's talking about it in town, but we got a guest coming on tomorrow who will talk about that. So today, if you want to jump on the Steph Curry topic, 702-365-9200. Vinny Bonsignore joins us at the top of the hour. I'm going to have the sportsbook director on today as a guest. We're also going to have the gentleman who put this big bracket contest together here at the Strat, and then hopefully take some phone calls from you. And I'll do the show tomorrow and Friday, and then I'm off on the Raider cruise. Flew the in-laws in town and everybody to watch the dog. We got everything rocking, and the wife and I are going to go sailing with Gorilla Rilla, Lincoln Kennedy, Reggie Kinlaw, Napoleon McCallum, and a topic the rest of the week for me is I've never been on a cruise. What's the do's and don'ts of a cruise? Now, this is a big-time boat. It's a Norwegian Bliss. I mean, it's got like 20 decks. They got a go-kart racetrack on the top of the boat. I mean, it's crazy. They got a cigar bar. I'm going to be doing some MC, interviewing some of the players there. But what do you avoid? My wife's packing. And when my wife packs, I got to slow her down. What should we bring or not bring? What should we pay for on the boat or not? What are some of the things to avoid on a cruise? Now, on this boat, there will be 4,000 human beings. 400 of them are associated with the Raiders. That's 10%. 10% is that. So that's going to be a really big deal. So if you're going on the Raider cruise, tell me what to pack, what not to pack. Going to Mexico. I didn't know the Mexican Riviera, which will be stops in Cabo, Mazatlan, and Puerto Vallarta. And a lot of good Raider stories along the way. So I'm ready to roll. That's the monologue brought to you by PTs. They fuel the monologue 5 to 7, midnight to 2, and they have a great PTs right here. PTs Wings and Sports is a great place to come by if you want unbelievable wings. Nachos, quesadillas. The menu's fantastic. The bar is gorgeous. They pour everything that I like, from Modelo to Tito's to Woodson Bourbon Whiskey. It's all here on property, so come on by if you can get us going. 702-365-9200. And let's begin the broadcast with Ray in Vegas. Ray, thanks for calling. Appreciate it. Start us off. All right.
Yeah, I think you're going too hard on Steph. I wasn't getting this today. Coach think, you know, for the player now.
Fair point.
And also, I you know, if that's the garage, I'm working on that one of them. 3 to 11 at the other. I did that for like 5 years. But when I was burned out, I definitely still ain't that take off tomorrow.
Baseball activities.
So,
Yeah, it really is.
it's a little
We did
common
team toss today, and you know, we're looking at.
Yeah, but hold on a second. Common decency. Common decency. When you're sitting on the bench in street clothes and you can play and you're getting $600,000 a game, that isn't you working 2 shifts and needing a break.
How much revenue Steph Curry is generating for the season?
Hundreds of millions.
Okay, so more than broken.
Okay, so you'll admit it's a day off, though, correct? Okay, that's all I'm calling. That's all I'm saying. My topic is load management. You're supporting a day off. I don't. They have days off. They have days off on Thursdays and Fridays and sometimes Saturdays before a Sunday game. They don't play 7 days a week. They play 36 minutes a night without timeouts. I mean, give me a break, man. What are you talking about? They do have days off, and they have an off season. They got 6 months off or 5 months off where they don't play.
They have 3 months off, not even that.
Well, I like the Olympic thing because he plays for his country on all that. I just want everybody to admit that it's a day off. It's a day off for people that have days off, and I appreciate the call. That's all I want you to say. Again, we like Steph. I'm not here to bash Steph, but the caller was great. He reminded me it was Steve Kerr's call. Fair. I'm just calling the load management, man. I do it with Kawhi. I do it with Kawhi and James Harden. And everybody makes them out to be mean and bad guys. Load management's bad when Paul George gets a night off, and when Steph does, it's great. Everybody bring out their Steph stuffed animal and pat it and say how cute he is. It's a day off. He doesn't need a day off. They get paid to play every game unless they're injured. He wasn't injured. His coach said he's fine. 702-365-9200. And look, again, days off are great for everybody, man. We all need them. But most people I know don't need a day off because they're burnt out. They need vacation, which I'll take and hope you take. They need days off because their parents are flying into town and they got to pick them up at the airport. That's a good reason for a day off. They get a day off because they have jury duty. That's fair. Most people I hang out with don't get a day off because they need a day off because mentally they're burnt out, especially in sports. Because I got thousands of guys in sports history that didn't need a day off. 702-365-9200 if you want to get in. I'm still looking for my first March Madness call. It's been like pulling teeth without Novocaine in Vegas to get the winner of this tournament. We don't have UNLV. They're out of it. But who do you think could win this? I'll go Florida. I gave you my bracket yesterday. I like St. John's to go deep, but to get beat. I also think Duke's going to go to the national championship game. A lot of people root against the Dukies. And I have three teams in the Final Four from the SEC. I have a feeling there's a conspiracy. I'm sensing that the SEC is doing something, in air quotes, different with their NIL and how they're paying players. Just calling that out as I see it too. 14 teams are in the tournament all of a sudden in the SEC. All of a sudden. Okay. Who's cooking the books? Who's paying for these guys? Who's paying for these guys to come and not go to UCLA, 4 miles from the beach, and go to Ole Miss? Who's paying these people in the SEC? They're doing a hell of a job. 702-365-9200 on X at JT the Brick. And if you want to talk to us during our little pauses here, not load management, we have partners and sponsors. You can watch the show and talk to me during the breaks at JT the Brick YT. That's our YouTube channel. We got a couple of guests coming up here live from the Strat on the Vegas Strip. We are kicking it off on Raider Nation Radio, the tournament, the NCAA tournament at the William Hill Racing Sportsbook. Wow, that was good. How about that? All right, that notes that she gave me. Okay, interviews after 1:15. Michael Gradsky. We could do these before 1:15, so she comes back. Yeah, and we'll put them here so I can get them on the screen. We'll just put a chair over here. We'll be good. And that headset will work for them?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right, this is about one.
That one. Okay. Yep. This one's mine.
Yep.
Okay. What's up, chat?
A little high on the walk number, probably, but the 184 opponent's batting average pretty strong.
This pitch to Schwarber is in for strike this today. A lot nicer for the manager to have your player than a homer while you're being interviewed on TV.
No question about it.
I believe it was against the Yankees, right? Earlier this strike, was interviewed.
That's what was up. Let's get it up. That's not fun.
We're the last half a bunch of defensive changes while we're talking about for the Yankees. It's Castillo and Wegner, 3 outfielders. Don Harris takes over second. That was just a short. Martin in left. Jackson, Castillo in center. Jared Wegner, right? Schwarber has another walk to the toe. Those are the striking
Modelo. I need a Modelo, man. Past noon, I can have a Modelo. Do I have permission to have a Modelo, please?
A lot of deception. The difficulty with having all that movement with your delivery is that you have to sync it up to be able to throw consistent strikes. Just at the first look at it, and that seems like that might be the challenge that he's going to have.
Dante Glory over from the minor league complex. First rounder, he's running for Kyle Schwarber. First base.
Going to see Dante Nori in the spring breakout game. Would you pick him up and line down this boy can run?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Shot and Brown's going foul.
Yes.
Getting along about Marshawn, asking him about while watching Raphael take batting practice today.
1 second.
See what more comes along. He says, should be comfortable from both sides. Probably right-handed.
Yeah.
Natural side, but
What's up, dude?
What's up, brother?
Ready for fucking hard man? Is that? Oh, good. Right on. Did Ross stop by yet or no?
No.
No, he can't stop by?
No, so I'll have lunch with you guys if I'm done.
Okay, yeah.
I'll just join you. We're going to eat in there?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Whatever. So I'll be done at 2. If you're in there, I'll join you.
All right, you got it. I'll stop by.
You got it? Perfect.
And when you consider the position he plays,
Hey, Bobby. Don't do the final call. Do the layup. The layup was the game winner, not the final call. If you have it. The one before that.
Miss Killer Queen live. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or M Resort Player Services. TheMResort.com for more.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show, brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka, America's original craft vodka. Visit Tito'sVodka.com.
Simpson will inbound under his own basket. Pinedo pressures the ball. He throws a baseball right-hand pass, arcing toward the bar free throw line. It's loose out of the basket. Right up and in by Knox. 7/10 of a second to go. Amore Knox gives Alabama State the lead, 70-68.
Westwood won on the call, Alabama State Radio. So they won last night. JT live at the William Hill Sportsbook at the Strat. You can watch our show live and be a part of our bracket challenge at our YouTube channel, JT the Brick YT, or you can go to lvsportsnetwork.com. We have a station bracket contest. Like we always say with brackets, it's homework. It's one of the few times a year you have to do sports homework. It's today. Please hand in your brackets and get it in. It'll take a minute to sign up and do that, and we'd appreciate it. We're going to give away great prizes, and we're excited to be down here today. So you saw Alabama State won in the play-in game. Also, North Carolina won last night, and North Carolina was getting a lot of heat for not being in the tournament, not supposed to be in the tournament because they were 1-11 in quad one wins. Not only did they win, they looked dominant over San Diego State, a team that plays here in the Mountain West. And the Mountain West has kind of hit rock bottom for me. Not with football. Barry Odom did a good job. But I talked to the commissioner of the Mountain West, a fine young lady, last week at the tournament. And the Mountain West, and San Diego State was in a national championship a couple of years ago. So we know they can play. And they got Utah State and a couple other teams that are in there that I'm rooting for. But I don't know what the problem is out west here. The Mountain West really blew an opportunity to the teams to get into the Big 12, not so much the Big 10. The fall of the Pac-12, the reason why the Pac-12 failed was because Larry Scott's terrible television deal and the fact that no one was paying attention to the Pac-12 because the television deal was so bad, no one could watch the games. And the Mountain West teams like UNLV should have went to the Pac-12 to try to save it. Because there's supposed to be more money in Los Angeles where movies and television emanates from. And there should be a power conference out west. But we don't see that now. And we had to see UCLA and USC go to the Big Ten. So this is the Wild West now. We have NIL, players in the portal, players quitting on their teams because their coach is not playing them enough. So the player who accepted a scholarship is deciding to leave and go to another team, which you have the freedom to do. If you want to transfer colleges and you're 21 years old, you say, hey, I don't want to go to ASU anymore. I want to go to Creighton. That shouldn't be against the law. But most of the time, kids are doing that because they're not playing enough. And coaches leave too. Remember, for those who say, what happens to a coach who commits to these players and then quits on the players? Fair. That's a fair point also. But as we look at what's happening in college basketball, this is their big moment. And what makes the tournament so special is there's 68 teams, and there's really 30 teams, and about 18 or 12 that can win it all. But it's an elimination game, and we don't have that. In the World Series, we have a best of 7. In the NBA Finals and the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, we have a best of 7. It's different pressure when you're a coach like Rick Pitino, Mike Krzyzewski when he was in the league, or Bobby Knight, or any of the coaches that are here when you have to win every game to cut down the nets. And the only thing that bugs me about the tournament, it's not the end of the world, is sometimes the best team doesn't win, right? They played better in the tournament, but they didn't play better the entire year. They didn't win their conference championship. They didn't go undefeated. They got hot in the tournament and won. Does that make them the best team? No, it makes them the best team in the tournament. And that's what we judge everybody on. So coming in second place in this tournament sucks. It really does. There's 68 teams, and you can come in second, and you get nothing other than a Final Four battle, which is important because people like Tom Izzo count Final Fours. They don't count national championships because they only got one. But getting to a Final Four is a big accomplishment in this country. It is a big accomplishment. If you want to give us your Final Four or your national championship game pick, give it to me. I got Florida at 702-365-9200. There is a really big NFL topic that broke today. Reports are that Aaron Rodgers is not going to be a Viking now. So reports are today by several different outlets who are all claiming they're reporting that the Vikings have lost interest in Aaron Rodgers. And the Vikings are going to roll with J.J. McCarthy, not Rodgers. Well, can you imagine if the Vikings were interested in Aaron Rodgers and he didn't get back to them in time and he went on some type of ayahuasca mental retreat and didn't get back to them in time and they said, look, we can't wait anymore. We're going to move on. So now they're going to roll with J.J. McCarthy. And here's the problem I have with that for the Vikings. The Vikings have a Super Bowl team right now. Give you a good example. If they had Geno Smith, if Geno Smith didn't go to Las Vegas and went to the Vikings, Geno Smith would be a Super Bowl contender. Not that he can't with the Raiders in 2 years. And things could happen in year one that I'm hoping for great things for Geno. But they're going to roll with a rookie quarterback who was injured and never played in a game going into year two. I could pretty much guarantee you that the Vikings won't make the playoffs because of that mistake. They had Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was 14-3, led him to the playoffs. You bring him back. You bring him back and you tell J.J. McCarthy, you suffered an injury. You're going to sit out again. We'll let you play a little bit, but we're going with Sam Darnold. No. The Vikings who had a great offseason. They signed a whole bunch of guys. The Vikings now are going to go with J.J. McCarthy, who I don't believe he's never completed a regular season NFL pass. So how's he going to take the team to the playoffs? And for those who say, well, Jaden Daniels did, well, he's not as good as Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is good. For those who say Bo Nix was able to do it. Okay, but Bo Nix didn't blow out his knee and sit out a year. So I think the Vikings now, not considering Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback situation, is pretty big. And now Aaron Rodgers has to choose now between there's 3 teams left in this Titanic version of musical chairs. Remember, we're on the Titanic. We're going towards the iceberg. Someone's going to die. There's going to be no chairs there. And Aaron Rodgers has to choose between the Cleveland Browns, the New York Giants, but the Pittsburgh Steelers. 99 out of 100 people would choose the Steelers. 99 out of 100, and Aaron Rodgers doesn't seem to be pressed to do it. Why wouldn't you pick a team like the Steelers at this point in time who have won 6 Super Bowls, have Pickens and Metcalf at wide receiver? Why would you make them wait? It's because Aaron Rodgers has a tremendous ego. It's a tremendous ego. And then the other big NFL story today is a huge one. There were a couple of rule changes in the NFL. And most of our audience today who are Raider fans, who are in my chat or if you want to call in here, we don't like rule changes. And why is that? Because we don't want the league to change the sport that Ronnie Lott, Jack Tatum, and Dan Marino played in 20, 25, 30 years ago. Why? Why touch the league? Why are you every year changing the rules? So the Lions have proposed seeding by record, which is really significant. The Detroit Lions proposed a significant change to the NFL playoff seeding that would use regular season records as the guiding principle. So if you win the NFC South, let's say you win the NFC South and you're Tampa Bay and you're 9-7. Okay, you got a record like that, or excuse me, 10-7, and a team that wins 12 games wins the wild card. The 12-win team would be seeded higher than the division winner. How do you feel about that, everyone? I don't know if I like that, because I think it's important to win your division, and from time to time, divisions fluctuate. Remember, for years, the Patriots, led by the great Tom Brady, played in a division in the AFC East, which was kind of easy to win if you were the Patriots. You had the Jets, Buffalo stunk at the time, and you had Miami. So they'd win the division, and they'd get a home game. Now the Lions are saying that this approach could have significant effect on the Lions and the highly competitive NFC North, which fielded 3 playoff teams last year. Remember, the Lions went 15-2, the Vikings went 14-3, and Green Bay went 11-6. So when you see all that now, you wonder, a team like the Minnesota Vikings won 14 games. Should they get a home game winning 14 games? That's the proposal there. Also, the other big decision that was made is by the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers want to get rid of the tush-push. They cannot stop Philadelphia's tush-push, and they want that outlawed in the league. And I think that is a team that's showing weakness. I think that they're showing tremendous weakness because they can't stop a play. So they're crying to the league and telling the league, look, we can't stop this play and we'd like to change the rule. I don't like that at all. I think that there are certain things that happen in this league that you should be able to start or not be able to stop, and they're saying that. So I'd like to know where you stand on that. What happens if the Raiders and Geno Smith, behind Jackson Powers Johnson, develop a quarterback sneak that they call the Geno push, and it's unbelievable. Geno's a big guy. Geno pushes, and the next thing you know, they push from behind, and the Raiders pick up 13 out of 14 first downs, and it helps the Raiders get to the playoffs. Would you want to get rid of that rule? So two big NFL rule changes I'd like to hear from you. 702-365-9200 for Raider fans who either don't want to change the rules that Al Davis helped propose in this league. Al Davis was in a lot of these meetings and owners' meetings, and if Al Davis didn't like these rule changes, guess who would speak up? Yeah, that would be the gentleman in the jumpsuit. He'd say, no, we're not going to do this. Now, a lot of these rule changes are effective. And the Philadelphia Eagles are proposing that regular season overtime, when teams get each possession, that could extend the game and move into the television window and extend the games. They want to do that. So a previous report attempted on the tush push failed in the past. The automatic first down, a proposal would eliminate the automatic first down that comes with an illegal contact or defense holding penalty. That was submitted by the Lions because they are called for that penalty more than anybody. So when it's 3rd and 18 and you hold, it's an automatic first down. They're proposing now that no, it's not an automatic first down. It's a 5 or 10 yard penalty and it's still 3rd down. Where do you stand on that? And a resolution from the Pittsburgh Steelers to allow direct contact between pending free agents and teams that are pursuing them during a 3-day negotiating window that precedes the opening of the league year. So there's a whole bunch of rule changes that are out there, even one about the K-balls, the kicking balls, a change submitted by multiple teams that would allow preparing the K-balls that are used for kicking before the game, as teams are allowed to do with the balls that are used on other plays. That, to me, is a technicality that comes down to making a team comfortable or not. So our big topics today are March Madness, and we want to get into that. If there's any callers out there that want to pick a winner other than me, I got Florida winning it all. Rule changes in the NFL, and I truly believe I scared half this audience away when I went after Steph. I really do. I could have took the day off today. It would have been easier. I called out Steve Kerr and Steph for load management, and I really believe I scared half my audience away. I think they literally turned off the show and said, I'm a Warrior fan, Raider fan. I can't handle this lunatic today. He's calling out load management. We'll see if we get a Steph caller to come in and support what he was able to do.
30.
I'm on X at JT the Brick. We are also brought to you by our great friends at Modelo. Have a Modelo today with the fighting
20.
spirit. The #1 beer in America is served right here at the Strat. Come have a Modelo with me. We'll be here till 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock on the air.
10.
We got a big show today as we're kicking off the madness right here from the Strat.
5.
Today's baseball is brought to you by your local Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Delaware Valley Honda dealer for visit Honda dealers. On the 8th inning, 9-7 now. Very different ball game. The Phillies have scored 7 last couple of innings and are that compact license stop. Phil second baseman who joins us from down the dugout. Bryson, what were you running out there, Jim? You get him the batting glove, did it in the pocket, that was his pocket.
I don't talk about any confidence in the end.
Well, maybe you thought you were done for the day.
Yeah, that's right.
Talk about how the spring has gone for you. I know it was a big thing. Health was an issue for you last year. We weren't aware of it at the time, but clearly it was something that was you were trying to fight through last year.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Subconsciously not trying to swim in this and then really saying that there's some contact and there's no fear for you and there's some
Looks like you're seeing baseball really well in a couple of walks today. Is that your team to be able to spin up some pitches, see some pitches, and make sure that you're making the right swing decisions?
Yeah, it's great for me. Obviously, you always want to get hits, but it's more of what pitches am I swinging at, and am I in the short zone or am I chasing? My first at bat, I swung a couple over a little too far in, but for the most part, yeah, swinging at the right pitches and getting on base a lot.
The struggles with injury last year, did they come and go, or was it kind of a constant thing for you?
I'd say more. I would say either. I'd say somewhere in between. Jay Trudeau fine. It's just whenever I hit the ball,
I'll get the guest on here.
Perfectly fine. Just trying to the baseball stop the force of the swing. And that first step was fine, man. Things the out fronts.
Bobby, we got a guest here, so we'll just take this. Okay. Hey, Ben. Catch you next hour. You good? Good. We're open after 1:15. Anytime after that. Name again?
Jay Trudeau.
Jay Trudeau. Matt. Pull that down. Perfect. We'll talk into that a second.
Yeah. Hello. Can you hear me?
Got him tuned up. Go ahead. Talk now.
Test one.
Yeah. There we go. Got him, Bobby? Okay. Jay Trudeau. I'm just streaming my show. Yeah. Yep. Yep. We all do that now. We stream our shows. So people get
people want to watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And watch it afterwards.
Yeah. It's great.
It is. How many years? How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this 28 years.
28 years. Yeah. Yeah.
Does he sort of identify things that you need to work on or things that you specialize in do really well?
Yes. Yep. That's true.
Things that he feels like.
And the website, our website is Madness in LasVegas.com.
LasVegas.com.
Yep. You can sign up for the group there and everything right there. Then,
Perfect. Yeah, grab me a couple XL shirts. My kids love them.
Extra large or two?
Advil targeted relief. The only topical pain reliever with 4 powerful pain-fighting ingredients.
Westwood One on the call. JT back with you. Brought to you by the Strat and Golden Entertainment, as they have me here every year. I bring in my friend Jay Trudeau, who's a part of March Madness in Las Vegas and this great promotion that we have here at Strat. Good to see you again. Good seeing you bringing back the crew.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you for having us on the show.
Love having you. And tell everybody here how you built this Facebook group to be such a power and bring this many people together.
Yeah, so it happened about 9 years ago. This is our 9th year doing it. We started a Facebook group back when Facebook was kind of getting going. And my brother Jim is really, and Mary, who kind of started this, we're Maryland fans, and he likes to talk basketball. And so we started the group, and people started joining, and we kept the talk going year round about talking basketball. And as more people join the group, we get Michigan State, we get all people from every school around the country. So I think we're up to about 19 to 20,000 people in the group right now.
Hold on, 19 to 20,000 people in this group. You're taking over this property, which is a big one. Now, what I think is so exceptional about this is a lot of people that are intimidated to travel to Vegas for March Madness because they don't have anybody to go with. They have a good group of 3 or 4. You put together a group on Facebook now that dominates and comes in, and the whole entire company wants to cater to you.
Absolutely. The Strat has been phenomenal. The place is beautiful. The William Hill sports book is great. I mean, I think it's one of the better sports books for smaller property, but it's very good. And they've came in here, catered to us, catered to our group, and we're bringing 550 people here tonight from 3 to 9 o'clock. We put on a party. It's $50 to get in, and you can come here. We give you a bag, we give you a T-shirt. All you can drink beer, all you can drink liquor. It's food. It's the best deal going in Las Vegas.
It is.
By far it is.
Jay Trudeau joins us. So tell us where the Facebook page is and the website, because as we're streaming live on YouTube, I got a lot of friends and people that want to join this group because you have all the bells and whistles. So when you book the flight, you know you're getting a deal on the hotel and the room. You know you're getting these parties. That takes a lot of work behind the scenes.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what we do in the group is, we rate these other places and we find the best places for us. And we have the Strat here that we do in the showroom. We run that also. As the group, we run the showroom Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's one of the better deals up there too, as far as that. And we keep it kind of going. We kind of find the deals that are good for the group, and people come in as the group and they stay here at the Strat because they get good deals. And we give away stuff to other properties too. We promote the other properties that do very well, and their parties, their watch parties, and their stuff like that too. So
I don't want to ask what the room rates are, but the fact that you're getting a deal. One of the things I've been talking about all the years I've lived here is the deals are drying up. And if you don't have a deal on a room, which you have with this unbelievable March Madness group, you could be getting gouged somewhere else in town. And that takes it alleviates a lot of the thought from people who join your Facebook page or go to the website knowing that they're going to get a good deal. And they don't feel like they're going to be gouged when they come to Vegas.
Well, and that's what we've tried to promote. We tried to work with the property so that these groups that we're going to bring all these people here, and we are going to give them good deals. And right now, it's about getting good deals.
Yeah.
The way the economy is right now, I think that the Strat's offering a great deal. For all you can drink, all you can food packages. It's not one of those things where you get a seat, you get it for the day, and then you got to buy your food, or you got to buy your drink or something like that. It's all included, all day.
Jay Trudeau's our guest. Again, let's talk about the Facebook group. All of our viewers, listeners who are listening all over the country on the flagship of the Raiders. Where do we find you on Facebook, and where's the website?
So Facebook is March Madness in Las Vegas. It's a Facebook group. You can go to the website for us, which is madnessinlasvegas.com. And right there, you can buy tickets to the showroom. You can, and there you can get hotel rooms there too. You can click on the Strat and the Facebook at the bottom of the page. If you click on that, it'll take you right to our Facebook page.
All right, I'm going with 3 SEC teams in the Final Four. I'm picking Florida only because I watched Florida play over the weekend, and they just look, Jay, like grown-ass men. They look like the Warriors. Like they had 3 Draymond Greens on the team. Shoulders, just the body type. I said, this is amazing. Normally Houston, as you know, has veterans and transfers, and they're more of a older team. And then you got Cooper Flagg playing for the Dukies. Who do you like?
I tell you, I watch Florida too a lot because I live in Missouri and I follow Missouri. And I watch Florida. Florida passes the ball very well. Yeah. They get the back doors. They get that. They're 2 7-foot guys. They play really good. Michigan looks really good. In the Big Ten, they have those 2 same kind of scenarios. They've got those 2 big guys. And the big guy gets in foul trouble. You can't be that. You can't do it. I like Michigan. I think they might go far too.
All right, give us one upset. I need one upset. I can't get my listeners and callers to give me any oxygen on this. I need an upset of epic proportions, or at least a team you like maybe getting out of the first 2 rounds was an underdog.
People might not like me in Missouri, but I might say Drake.
Yeah, I have Drake. I have Drake winning that first.
Drake might be the sleeper there. They're a good squad, and it's going to be a lot more fans there for that.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a good matchup. So, and Missouri hasn't been playing all that well down the stretch there. So that's one of them I saw. Not really anything else that I can really
That's fine.
like.
Drake is good. Yeah. I need an opinion. You gave me one. Yeah. Thanks for coming on with me. I'll see you at the party tonight.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
You got
Come
it.
on down to the Strat today, and we're here all weekend. There's still spots for Friday.
Still got spots for Friday.
Got spots for Friday, so you can go on the Strat's website or our website and it has a link to there. But yeah, come on down.
Madnessinlasvegas.com.
Madnessinlasvegas.com.
Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jay.
There he is, Jay Trudeau. Appreciate it. Coming back for hour number 2. Thank you so much. Vinny Bonsignore. Looking forward to this interview as Vinny is diving deep into the Raiders' needs heading into the draft. This will be good. I'll keep it here on the chat on YouTube for the Vinny interview coming up here, and then we'll do this the rest of the way. We're live at the Strat in Vegas. Come on down. We'll be here for a few hours. And you just got invited to a pretty good all-you-can-drink and eat party for $50 if you're in town and looking for something. Come on down to the Strat. Woo! All right, 1 hour down. 1 hour down. All right. Cool. Going to take a momentarily break here, everybody, and we'll get going. We'll start off with Vinny.
Let's go down or that's back? Yeah, down the back. I guess.
I did everything right, but an institution that had my data didn't, and now my identity's been stolen.
Hospitals, employers, and other institutions all have your personal information too, and when they're exposed, careful monitoring of accounts will be enough.
All right, chat, what's happening, man? Hit the like button if you can. We are here for hour number 2. My Modelo hour.
US-based identity restoration specialist will fix it guaranteed. Plus, all LifeLock members are back on a LifeLock $1 million protection package, including reimbursement for stolen funds. Call now or go online and use promo code 35TV to save 35% off an annual plan for your first year.
Yeah, we're going to help her. If you got a spot there.
I don't know. I'm going to look for outlet, okay? Thank you.
Retail brand for electrified vehicles 24 years in a row. Find yours at Toyota.com.
All right. Vinny should join us, right, Bobby? Okay, and then we're going to have...
Magnetic now, and the Yankees hold a 9-7 lead. And the Phillies with a new pitcher is Matthews. And the pitch up the way that is David Estevista, who is over from minor league camp today. His numbers last season. Part of the time here in Clearwater, part of the Jersey Shore. But lower contact, a lot of strikeouts for innings.
Especial, the new #1 beer in the U.S.
It's the JT the Brick Show, broadcasting live from the Finley Cadillac Performance Studio, your silver and black home to sound off for over 25 years. And now, here's JT the Brick.
Out of the gate, hour number 2 is we're live from the Strat to kick off the NCAA tournament. Unbelievable turnout today from this group. that puts this event together, March Madness in Vegas.com. They got over 500 people here. Their big viewing party tonight. We'll have the general manager of the Sportsbook of William Hill, Michael Grodzki, is going to join us in a few minutes, and also Skylar Dice, who's the GM of this entire property and a friend of the show. But Vinny Bonsignore joins us, as he does on every Wednesday. And Vinny, you've been keeping me entertained, man, because you are fighting everybody off, man. You're giving us unbelievable information and calming the Raider Nation on some of the quality players that they brought in free agency, and maybe some of the other players that they haven't filled the need yet.
Yeah, I know that, obviously this is kind of a new day with the Raiders. I don't remember the last time so many defensive starters were signed immediately in free agency, at least within the first couple of days, by other teams to lucrative contracts. It's usually been the opposite. Guys don't get their second contract. Draft pick with the Raiders invested in players, just move on and don't make their mark. So it's a sign that the drafting has definitely been better in Las Vegas over the last few years. But at the same time, if you're the Raiders, I think what happened is, good players left, the good players replaced them. The good players that replaced the ones that left came here on shorter-term deals. I think that's one of the objectives that the Raiders have, is being able to remain flexible as they move on into their future. They obviously want to draft well and develop well, and they looked at the years and the amount of money that were being invested in some of the Trayvon Merrick and Robert Spillane and Divine Diablo and Nate Hobbs, that decided they'd rather have similar players, and less commitment in terms of the years on the contract.
Yeah, I think the pushback could be on that if fans don't agree, is that you're getting rid of players that are signing big money contracts for multiple years to bring in players short-term on prove-it deals. But I like the way those players fit into a Pete Carroll and John Spytek theme. And Pete Carroll's the coach, and I know a lot about his history, track record, and the Legion of Boom and the type of players that he likes. I'm not saying these are Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, Richard Sherman type players here, but the size and strength and the way they play closer to the line of scrimmage, I like.
Yeah, I completely agree. When you look at the defensive backs that they rolled out to the media last week, they all did fit a certain criteria. I mean, you can literally see it when you sit next to these players, or spoke to them when they were at the podium. The defensive backs were over 6 foot. They were stout. There was versatility. There's guys that could play cornerback. There's guys that can play safety in both positions and can be utilized as chess pieces on the defense. That Pete Carroll and Patrick Graham, obviously the defensive coordinator, really prioritizing their defensive players. So when you see a guy like Lonnie Johnson, when you see somebody like a Jeremy Chin, these are defensive backs that can play all over and have played all over the defensive backfield. And that's absolutely something that they prioritize.
Vinny Bonsignore is our guest. So, Vinny, you wrote a really good column that is out. The Raiders still have pressing needs to address. What are they? Who will they turn to in the draft setting, potentially up perfectly to land those impact players? So it's the first time ahead of the draft in all of our appearances, I'm going to ask you, what do you believe are the pressing needs for this organization with the draft in April?
Well, this is one man's opinion. I think it's probably shared, across the board, but there's a glaring need at running back for a lead running back, and I think there's a glaring need for another playmaking wide receiver to slot alongside of Jacoby Myers. And obviously, Brock Bowers, the talented young tight end. And when I look at this draft, I think it really does set up pretty well for the Raiders to check both of those boxes off at a fairly high level within the first 2 rounds of the draft. And you could go in a couple of different orders. If you want to go running back first, Ashton Jesse is just screaming to be picked at number 6. This is a bona fide all-pro caliber running back that would do so many things for this Raiders offense, taking pressure off of Geno Smith, being able to take the pressure off of Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers, somebody that can run the ball at a high volume level, somebody that led college running back in pass catches last year, but the year before, so he's definitely got that in his arsenal. Kind of a game-changing running back. And then in that second round, there's a number of wide receivers. I like Jaden Higgins from Iowa State, a big-bodied wide receiver from Iowa State that could plug and play early on, and he's one of a few wide receivers that figure to be there at that stage of the draft for the Raiders to be able. You could also reverse that. You can go Tech McMillan from Arizona at number 6 and circle back to one of the talented running backs that are in this draft in the second round. So, this is a good year for the Raiders to need a starting running back and a starting wide receiver, whether it's in that order or not, within the first 2 rounds of the draft. And so I do think that this draft is shaping up really well for the Raiders.
I agree with you. Ted McMillan could go number 6 overall on a lot of draft boards, but I think there's some wide receivers and some running backs who Chip Kelly coached already that could be there in the second round. But I want to stay with Ashton Jeanty for a second because I watched him play twice this year live, and I went to the championship game up in Boise, and he was going up against UNLV, and sometimes he wasn't getting any yards against the Mountain West team, but everybody was keying on him. And you had 11 guys in the Mountain West every time he touched the ball, not worrying about the wide receivers loading the box. What gives you the ability to think that this guy can dominate the NFL coming out of the Mountain West instead of the Big Ten and the SEC?
Yeah, this guy did it against everybody, and he did it against, that UNLV defense was really, really good. And so he did it against Oregon, went for well over 100 yards against Oregon. To me, this is a can't-miss prospect, and, he's kind of like, whether you want to talk about a LaDainian Tomlinson or a Marshall Faulk, that caliber of running back, like this, even if you get just 5 years, and I'm not, thinking along those lines whatsoever, I think he'll be a running back for the Raiders for far longer than just the first 5 years. But even if you get a pro level running back on a rookie contract, for 4 years of those 5 years, that's hitting gold, right? Especially with the kind of offense that a Pete Carroll wants to run. He's elusive. He's tough to tackle. He can catch the ball. He's got breakaway speed. He's durable. There's really not anything that you don't like. You've got intangibles both on the field and off the field. He's a great kid. Overall, would fit perfectly in that locker room. So, and what he would mean to this offense in terms of the puzzle the Raiders are putting together on that side of the ball, it just makes a lot of sense, even at number 7.
Vinny Bonsignore joins us. I think this is very unique now because Mel Kiper Jr. came out yesterday or today with Shador over Cam. Not just one guy's opinion. We all have opinions. But, Vinny, I'm going to be blown away at number 6 if Shador's there. And if they are, there's going to be a lot of Raider fans who have been calling into your show and my show, wanting a rookie quarterback who's a franchise builder, a star, a celebrity with upside as a quarterback more than a wide receiver or a running back. The more you dive into this with the sources that you have, do you think Shador gets past number 6 or gets to number 7 where the Jets are picking?
Yeah, by the way, Jackie had 192 against Oregon, just to throw that out there. I would be shocked if Shador is still there at number 6. I just think that, if you're the Cleveland Browns, how do you justify your fan base letting a quarterback like that, put through your fingers? Or the New York Giants at number 3, or somebody maybe trading up, into that realm to get Shador Sanders. So I don't think that he will be there, but if he is, everything changes for me then at that point, because as much as I think Ashton Jeanty would help for one of the premier playmakers that might still be on the board, whether it's a Tech McMillan or Mason Graham, it'd be hard for me to turn my back on a Shador Sanders, because then you have with Geno Smith kind of the best of both worlds. You've got your short-term quarterback, and then you have somebody like a Shador Sanders who could be the long-range quarterback learning behind a Geno Smith. So that definitely makes a whole lot of sense. All that would be off the Shador there. I don't think he will be, but if he is, then he makes a really compelling case to be here in Las Vegas for all the reasons that you just talked about. He's a really good quarterback prospect. Let's not get that twisted.
Yes.
And forget about that. And it's been part of 2 major program changes, and he's not daunted by any of the rebuilding that might be going on in Las Vegas or the daunting task of returning to the Raiders province. He's not daunted by that. And then the celebrity factor and what he brings, the pizzazz, the people that would be of interest. He would be Raider Nation's little brother. Like, there's something to be said about drafting your quarterback and the fans rallying behind that quarterback, especially, obviously, if he hits There's really something to be said about that. So I'm all in on Shedeur Sanders if he's there.
Wow, Vinny's all in at Shedeur. I'm kind of in all at Shedeur too there. And Vinny, as we wrap it up, it gets to the Geno contract. And you and I have talked off the air about that. No rush. There's no rush for Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers just might have lost out on Minnesota because his ego is saying he's in no rush. And they were looking like they were interested in him. With Geno and the calendar and the money that we're assuming he's going to get, and after paying Max $91 million in an extension of guaranteed money, what should we be looking for with this Geno contract? Not so much the money, but when it could get inked.
Yeah, and I'm actually writing a story about that. There's been a delay since the trade was officially announced. No press conference usually is within a couple of days. What could that mean? Doing some hitting up some NFL people. They're more of the thinking that they're probably closer than further away on a new contract, and so to kind of simultaneously make the announcement where you introduce Geno and then also make the announcement of the new contract. Why not wait? Just have it's going to take a couple more days to get that thing finalized so that it could all be done in one press conference rather than doing two different press conferences. So hopeful thinking there, I'm sure for Raider Nation, if you're worried about no press conference just yet. If you're talking about the contract, again, tapping into some of my sources, if you're Geno Smith, you're probably looking at the Kirk Cousins contract. You got $90 million that's guaranteed at signing. There's really no way if you're Geno Smith, you want to take one penny less than at least $90 million guaranteed at signing. So I split the difference and went to $94 million guaranteed at contract, maybe $140 million over 3 years. That gets Geno his money, and rightfully so. He's a better player than Kirk Cousins. He's younger. He's better physical fitness. You get that out of the way in 2 years, and it preserves flexibility for the Raiders, because if they do draft Shedeur Sanders, or they do draft Tyler Shook, or they do draft the Jalen Milroe, and any of those quarterbacks are ready between that, anywhere in between over the next 24 months or so, you have flexibility to move on from Geno Smith without any real, financial hardship. So if you're the Raiders, it's probably less about the amount of money over those first couple of years, even if it has to be $46 million or so. I think that's a fair compromise. But you want to be able to have flexibility that if the quarterback that you draft is ready to go, you can easily do that within the next 24 months. And if he's not ready to go, then you still have Geno under contract for another for that 2027 season. So then that seems to be sort of the sweet spot that everybody that I talk to is talking about, and we'll see if that's what it ends up being.
All right, Vinny, last one before we thank your partners. I'm kind of getting into a Twitter battle today because Steph Curry load managed last night. Steve Kerr said it. He admitted it and said, quote, he was fine. They gave him a mental night off. I don't believe in that. I believe you get nights off. You get nights off in the NBA. You have plenty of nights off, and you have an off season. And he makes over $52 million a season. I want to revert back to you with Kobe, because you covered Kobe and you were in that locker room. And I might be wrong. Maybe Kobe, I don't remember Phil or anybody else giving him a mental night off. I don't remember Kobe agreeing to taking a night off on a back-to-back. Am I wrong here? Because Kobe was a different animal when it came to load management.
Yeah, and I don't know that load management was actually a thing, at that stage. So it really hadn't become prevalent in the NBA. Certainly, when you talk about the Magic Johnsons and Michael Jordan and Larry Bird, go look at the legends. They played 82 games every year. It had to be something really painful for them to miss games. Now, having said all that, I'm usually right there with you. I don't like load management. People are like, you don't understand. They're trying to preserve them for the play. I get it. I understand it. It makes perfect sense. But there's something to be said about the battle of attrition that it takes to win a championship. It's the last person standing up on that hill, the one that preserved all the injuries and played through the finish line. And was the strongest and best at the end of the season. And to me, when you do it on a regular basis, in terms of the load management, you're really disrespecting the great champions of yesteryear by doing that. You're gaming the system. It's easier. You're making it easier rather than doing what all the greats have done. But having said all that, when somebody like Steve Curry, I read the quote, and I actually heard them talking about he had noticed that Steph's play had become a little bit raggedy. The decision-making had faltered a little bit, and he put it on. He's kind of mentally exhausted right now, and he needed a day off to kind of just regroup a little bit so that they get the best version of Steph moving forward rather than keep pushing that to the limit. And I know how hard Steph Curry plays, and I know how hard it must have been for him to sit out last night's game. So I took all of that into account and said, if I'm going to ever side for a day off, I'm going to side on this one because I respect Steve Kerr too much. He knows what's at stake. They got to win all these games. And I think he was looking at it like, man, it's really getting to that point where I can visibly see play faltering a little bit because I know where he hit, how much he put into this, and where he is kind of mentally right now. He just needs a day off kind of regroup. I'm normally with you, and I hate load management. I think this is less about load management than a coach just saying, you know what, I know you're going to hate me. You might overturn my desk in my office because I'm even thinking about this, but as your coach, I'm going to make you sit down in this game because I think over the long haul, that'll be a benefit to you and a benefit to us, which is not unlike sometimes a baseball player. And I've talked to many managers who have had hard conversations with their third baseman who wants to play, all 162 games, but he notices that he's lagging a little bit. And he has to call him into the office. I know you're going to hate me for this. I'm sitting you down today. And there might be a fight. Verbal, like they're going to get after because that's what pros do. For the better of the player and the team, he decides to give back that player a day off. So
well, we both
we
both respect each other's opinions. Just needed to be talked about because most of the media wouldn't touch this. We touched it today. Let's thank your proud partners, and I'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
Absolutely, no question about it. LendingStore.com if you need a little bit of extra money right now, $505,000, and the credit cards are maxed out. Credit might not be where it needs to be. Go to LendingStore.com. For over 20 years, they've gotten people the money that they need in less than 24 hours. So go to LendingStore.com for all the details.
Thank you, Vinny. I'll talk to you soon. Appreciate you.
Thank you, JT.
That's Vinny Bonsignor from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. The GM of the Strat, Skylar Dice, is here. Good to see you.
Good to see you, JT.
Great to see this venue, this property shining for such a big kickoff here to college basketball. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I've been waiting for March Madness for since the year started. We rolled past the Super Bowl. I'm like, all right, let's get ready for March now.
And it's great that you have an unbelievable group here. We just talked to Jay Trudeau, who's part of this Facebook group. I think it's such a unique story that I've been sharing with my audience. You can't move that many people to a resort property unless you're organized. You have a viewing party, and you have drink and beverage, and you have venues here. It must be nice to know you have that cornerstone group leading the way.
Well, it's a great partnership, and these guys, it's really a full year process to be able to build this out from soup to nuts. So it's a great partnership with Jay and his team, and it's great to have those guys in every single year, but it's a lot that goes in to make that happen.
So tell us about the property overall. Golden Entertainment's been around. Whenever I stop people and I say they have 70 taverns called BT, Sean Patrick, Sierra Gold, they say, wait a second, those guys own the Strat? And I go, yeah, Golden Entertainment. It's a publicly trading company, but it's a team, and it's led by a family. How proud are you to work with this group?
I'm extremely proud to work with this group. I've been with Golden since 2015 and kind of with a pre-merger organization prior to Golden as well. But I say this all the time. It's great having a family that's still in Las Vegas running this property because they're here, they're vested in the community, and in creating a great property here and in all the taverns.
Skylar Dice is our guest. He's the GM of the Strat. So what are some of the improvements? I'm here often, but for those who haven't been here in a year, 12 months, 2 years, if they walk into the Strat, what do they see?
The first thing you're going to notice is the casino floor. So we renovated that. I think that's the first thing we touched. We redid that in 2019, right at the tail end of 2019, just in time for COVID. That'll be the first thing you notice. The sports book, we're sitting in here. That's one of the things we've renovated. The PT is right next door. There was actually a boulevard in Maine prior to that. Probably the nicest viewing opportunity in PT is right in the PT Stadium back there. Great opportunity viewing games. Chi, Top of the World, the Tower, over 1,300 hotel rooms, Atomic Golf behind us. I mean, there's so many new things to bring you out to the Strat. I mean, it's something we're really proud of, this property.
I mean, I get a chance to MC the ALS event that's at the pool every year. Let me tell you about that pool.
Wow.
To do events at night. I mean, during the day, when everybody comes to Vegas, you need a pool, especially when it's hot. But I live out towards Summerlin, and you get a view of the mountains when you're at the pool, and the pool is ridiculous. I think it's a hidden gem during pool season.
Oh, absolutely hidden gem. We're looking forward to that opening up right at the beginning of April. You hit on the ALS event. Great event for us. We actually took that and said, you know what, we could probably do concerts up here. So we did like one during the When We Were Young weekend, Hawthorne Heights, and the bands were in town, did a show for us up here, and it was great. We had, I think, over 2,000 people show up on the pool, and it was just a great event, great atmosphere, mountains in the background as the sun's setting. You can't ask for a better backdrop than that.
Skylar Dice is our guest, the GM of the Strat. So, top of the world, for those who are watching and listening, to explain top of the world, it's kind of hard to do it unless you take the elevator up and you get off there, and the certain views that you have there, the rides that are up top. Why is top of the world still exceptional from the chef to the service and the cuisine?
I think what sets it apart, you've got the view, right? Yeah. You're dining from 106 stories up. You got the slow rotation. You're seeing the entirety of the city, and you're not going to get a better view. And I think the changes that Chef Chad has made up at the top, and Alam, our VP of Food and Beverage, his team, have put in place up there, it's a world-class dining experience. In terms of a view of the city, whether you're looking to the west or the Red Rock Canyon, if you're looking north, south, down the strip, you are not going to get a better view of town.
So when we look at, as we wrap this up, the location of the Strat now, as this portion of the strip is growing out, and we have the Arts District, and then we go downtown to Circa, you got Wynn, you got Resorts World, walking distance from here. I think it is imperative also with Sphere opening that when people start looking for room rates, one of the first places they call is the Strat. To say, what are the room rates compared to Bellagio, Wynn, Encore? The place is gorgeous. You walk in here, you're impressed. How important is that for people to shop the room rates here and all the amenities you have?
I think you can put this property against anything in Center Strip in terms of like how renovated and how nice the product is, and you're getting a great value. That's what we really want to stress in the property is the value you're getting here is a completely different experience.
Lastly, March Madness, as I tell everybody, it's intimidating for a lot of locals and people around town because they don't know where to go. And I always say, come here, because this group is putting together an unbelievable event, and you can buy your way in to get up to these parties for $50 and have food and beverage and all that. How important is that to get the message out to the locals who are listening to us on Raider Nation Radio?
I think that's incredibly important because we activate the showroom with this group. We activate the sportsbook space, the View Lounge, PTs. Saturday night, we've got some of the UNLV legends coming in town for the Kings of Vegas. We're super excited about that. Have Larry Johnson, Stacey Augman, Anderson Hunter will be on property 7 o'clock Saturday night. So there's so much going on here. Like there's so many different places to watch the games at here. It's just not the showroom. There's plenty of activations throughout property.
Thanks, my friend. Always good to see you. We should do this more often.
Oh, most definitely. We're doing during football season now.
You got it. There he is, everybody. Skylar Dice. We appreciate him as the GM here of the Strat. When we come back, thanks to Vinny, we double dip there with two good guests. Vinny told you about some of the needs for the Raiders going forward. We'll dive into that. I am still looking for a March Madness upset. You got Liberty. From me and my guest, Jay Trudeau said, Liberty, Liberty, Liberty. Take Liberty in that opening first round. We got a lot more to get to live from the Strat here as we kick off the tournament here. Golden Entertainment. Thanks, man.
Are we doing the rant here or what?
I got a big group coming in position. They're hoping the nice games. We've got nice spread games. Luckily, it's 5 o'clock. As luck would have it, you'll get back here by 8 o'clock. That's Larry Johnson. Take care. Appreciate it.
Morning tailgate. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on Raider Nation Radio 928.
All right, my friends, I'm going to sign off here. The room is getting a little bit small here. I appreciate everybody being here. Last couple of weeks, you saw me do a remote at the rugby event. I did a remote. Where did I do that other remote? We did rugby. We did the Thomas and Mack for the Mountain West, and we're doing March Madness. So I'll be on Thursday, Friday. Then I'm heading out on the Raider cruise, and I appreciate everybody here. You know, you mean everything to me. Do me a favor. Last chance to get into this bricklayer bracket. Go find it. My son put the link here, and please share it with other people. We want to get new people in this group. If you can share it, I'd appreciate it.